the great paradox of desire. A dance as old as time, a pursuit both ancient and inevitable. You have seen it, have you not? That moment when someone stands still, utterly unmoved, and suddenly the one who ran is the one who reaches out. Strange, isn't it? The ones who once withdrew, who recoiled at intimacy, who vanished just as things became real. These very same souls begin to chase the moment you stop chasing them. It defies logic, does it not? And yet it is the very key to unlocking the heart of an avoidant. So today, we will unravel the great mystery. Avoidance will chase you when you do this, and it changes everything. But I must warn you, this is not a trick, nor a game. This is not about manipulation or mindless strategy. No, this is about something far more powerful, something that shifts the very foundation of how an avoidant sees you, sees love, and sees themselves. So if you are ready to understand what truly makes an avoidant come back, reach out and stay, then sit, listen, and let me tell you a story. The inevitable chase. Why they run until they can't. Let me introduce you to someone. Let's call him Oliver. Oliver was a man of contradictions. He longed for closeness but feared being trapped by it. He wanted to be loved but dreaded what love required: vulnerability, commitment, presence. And so, Oliver ran. Not with haste, not with anger. No, his retreat was subtle, like a shadow slipping between cracks in the pavement, unnoticed until it was gone. At first, he pursued with the same enthusiasm as any man enchanted by new love. He was charming, affectionate. He pulled you in, made you feel seen. But the moment love demanded something of him, true presence, real emotional risk, he withdrew. A missed call, a delayed reply, a change in plans. Soon, silence became his shield, and like many before you, you wondered, what happened? What changed? And so you did what seemed only natural. You reached for him. You tried to close the distance, to remind him of what you had. You sent messages, reassurances, invitations, anything to draw him back from the invisible wall he had built between you. But the more you reached, the more he withdrew. The closer you came, the further he ran. Until one day, he was gone entirely. Sound familiar? Of course it does, because this is the cycle of the avoidant, and those who do not understand it are doomed to play the role of the pursuer forever. The truth about avoidance: they do not fear love, they fear themselves. Now, let me share with you a truth so many fail to grasp. Avoidants do not push you away because they do not care. No, quite the opposite. They push you away because caring terrifies them. To an avoidant, love is not safe. Love has rules, expectations, weight. It demands that they stay, that they feel, that they show up. And this, dear listener, is their greatest fear. Because if they stay, they are vulnerable. If they feel, they are exposed. If they show up, they could fail you. And so they run, not from you, but from their own inability to meet love's demands. But here's the part no one tells you. Avoidants do not run aimlessly. No, they only run when they know you will follow. Which brings us to the very thing that changes everything. The shift when you stop chasing, they start running toward you. Now, let me tell you another story. This one is about a woman named Clara. Clara, like many before her, fell for an avoidant, a man who adored her until he feared her closeness, a man who vanished when love became real. At first, she did as anyone would. She reached. She tried to hold on to him, to prove that love was safe, that she was different. She softened her words, gave him space, waited patiently for the day he would wake up and realize. But he never did. Instead, his silence became louder, his absence more pronounced. And Clara, exhausted by the chase, did something she had never done before. She stopped. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, she simply Let go. She did not chase. She did not wait by the phone. She did not try to prove her worth or remind him of what they had. Instead, she turned inward. She poured her energy back into herself, into her life, her passions, her happiness. She became someone who did not need his return to feel whole. And do you know what happened next? He noticed. At first, subtly, a random message, a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" A question disguised as indifference. And then more, a growing curiosity, a lingering presence, a need to reconnect. Because, dear listener, when an avoidant realizes you are no longer chasing them, something remarkable happens. They panic, not because they fear losing you. No, they had always expected to lose you. They panic because they never expected you to stop running after them. And when you do, they are left with something they have spent their whole lives avoiding: themselves. Why this works? The avoidant mind unraveled. Now you may wonder, why does this work? Why does distance create closeness? Why does letting go make them reach out? The answer lies in perception. Avoidants do not trust love that chases them. They see it as pressure, as demand. They fear that if they step too close, they will be consumed by it, expected to be someone they do not know how to be. But when you stop chasing, when you stop needing them to stay, for the first time they wonder, did they misjudge you? Did they push away someone truly irreplaceable? And that wondering, that uncertainty, creates a shift so subtle yet so profound, they begin to chase what they once ran from. Because now, the roles have changed. Now, you are the one they cannot quite reach. And the avoidant? For the first time, they are the one who must take the risk. How to handle their return. The power of choice. Now let us imagine they come back. Because, dear listener, if you have truly let go, not as a strategy, not as a test, but truly, they will return. And when they do, you must ask yourself a question. Not do they want me back, but rather, do I want them back? Because you see, the point of stepping back was never to make them chase you. It was to reclaim yourself, to become someone so whole, so fulfilled, that their presence is a choice, not a necessity. And when you reach that place, when you become someone who does not need to chase love, then, and only then, will love chase you. So now you know. Avoidants do not chase those who wait for them. They chase those who walk away with certainty. They do not crave love given freely. They crave love that does not beg. And so if you find yourself in the endless cycle of pursuit, do not ask, how do I make them stay? Ask, why am I running after someone who is running from themselves? And when you stop running, when you stop trying to be enough for them, and instead become enough for yourself, that is when they will turn around. Not because they have to, but because for the first time they want to. And that, dear listener, changes everything. If this has resonated with you, if you have seen yourself or someone you love in these words, then stay. Subscribe. There is much more to uncover about love, attachment, and the quiet strength it takes to stand still when the world tells you to chase. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for love is let it come to you.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.